Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Keith Andrew Network. This is episode 241. I'm here with Jay, the beautiful Jay, and I just want to say thank you for being a guest on my talk show.
Absolutely. Wow, 241 you said?
Yep.
Wow. Congratulations.
I appreciate it. Getting back up to where originally was, 300.
Oh, wow.
Yep, I originally did 300, but a lot of people backed out of it, so I said, you know what, screw it. Took everything down. I now have people sign a permission slip saying, can I have the right to interview you, do whatever I want with the interview, as long as it doesn't discriminate against me and you or both our images. So now that's what I'm doing. So I've done that from the start, but I had a learning disability, so it wasn't faking. Sorry, it's been a long day. I was talking, for 2 hours, back to back. Actually, 3 hours was a lot of people, so no disrespect. It's been a long day.
No problem. If I may ask, what is your learning disability?
Okay, well, I'm pretty much like you, only I learn a slower pace.
Okay.
So basically, you were able to go to college, you're able to drive, you're able to do these amazing things. And for me, it's got to be scaled back.
Got you. Good.
So it's basically my job is showing people I can still overcome. But with that being said, the whole point of the Keith Andrew Network is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still overcome controversy and reach my goals in life. At the same time, I am able to turn myself into a perfect example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities. But you should never give up, and you should prove to people you can still mount something no matter what. With that being said, half hour, 45 minutes of your time. And starting off, actually, I'm going to do a commercial break because, I messed up the introduction. So let's get the commercial break out of the way.
Okay.
For anyone who's a fan of Target, Target's now having 60% off all stores on clearance. So if you just go to their clearance section, they're having 60% off. It could be online as well, Target.com. It's in the store. They didn't really tell me where it is, so I assume that it's in Targets everywhere. Yeah, all they told me was, hey, can you promote this 60% off? I was like, okay, I didn't ask any questions. But Target, 60% off on the clearance, go online or in person. And also, Celeb VM, and this is something for you. Celeb VM, you can create your own profile if you're a upcoming celebrity. I'm on there. You should be on there. And for a perfect example, you would ask, I don't know, $30. And you say, for an example, today's my birthday. Can you wish me a happy birthday? I'm getting married. So it's birthdays, weddings, proposals, all these different things, recommendations. You pay the person for upcoming celebrities. You should be on there. I'm on there. CelebrityVM.com. With that being said, I like every interview to be different. No disrespect. I need my caffeine. I'm starting to fall asleep. But starting off, what can you tell? Candy, I'm falling asleep and I'm slurring my words. Yeah, great combination. So starting off, what can you tell us about your life growing up? Did you do any sports? And when you were in high school and college, were you a study nerd, party animal, and did you ever get the chance to do one of those human pyramids?
I love it. Growing up, I grew up in Sandusky, Ohio, and I was very studious. I was very academic. I was very church-going, very Christian, grew up very Christian girl, very, very committed to the church. Just was at church like every day, whether it was choir or youth group or a Bible study. And that's what I but also I was also very involved in sports too. I was a bit of a tomboy. I mean, me and my dad were just talking about that yesterday. I was very much a tomboy, and I got, my dad, he was a basketball coach. And so, I don't know, growing up around him and around all the boys, I think I got that side from him. And then my mom, she was very much, they were both teachers. But in addition to that, my dad coached basketball and my mom was very much an advocate for the arts. And so she would have me in all other kind of extracurriculars like dance and orchestra and band and all that stuff. Modeling, baton twirling, all of that girly stuff. And thank God it like balanced out. And I actually, my career as I got older, I kind of veered and started pursuing the dancing more so than the sports. But for quite a while, it was both very equal. And I was very much a tomboy. And I just told my dad last night, I was like, I think dance saved me. Otherwise, I would have grew up and just became a tomboy. And so I played basketball, I played volleyball, I played softball, I ran track, did track and field. What else did I do? I swam for a little bit. And when I got to my senior year of high school, I had to choose between track and between dance. And I was doing very well in both, very, very well. And I ended up choosing dance, and the rest is history. I ended up going to college and on scholarship to Alvin Ailey Dance School and Fordham University, the number 2 program in the country behind Juilliard. Juilliard is the only program that's above it, and they're like right across the street from each other, so they're very competitive, or at least they used to be when I was there. Now they're a couple blocks away, but Juilliard and Alvin Ailey, very competitive. And so when I was in college, it was very much the same thing. I would go out sometimes, because I loved to dance, but I was more so very studious and very committed to my church. I started a dance ministry when I was in college at my church and all of that. And I think that answers your question. Did that answer your question?
Yep, well, life growing up, doing sports. But one thing he left out is, did he ever get the chance to do one of those human pyramids?
Do a human pyramid? Yeah, yes, I did when I was, I believe when I was young, I did a human pyramid. I remember doing, absolutely, actually, I remember specifically, I was in first grade, and we did a section on in cultural studies or social studies on Egypt, and we learned this Egyptian dance. And because I was the dancer in the class, they had me at the peak of the pyramid, and the ending pose of the pyramid of the Egyptian dance was a human pyramid, and I was the peak of the human pyramid.
Would you be interested in doing one, or is he not into that stuff anymore?
What, a human pyramid?
Yes.
I mean, I would be open, I think, if the circumstances were right.
I've been trying to set up a Guinness Book of World Records or a YouTube record, so I'm trying to get as many people together. If you want to help me out, I really appreciate it.
Where are you based?
New York.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, send me the information. I would be open.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Now, for your acting, did you ever do any voiceovers, or would you be interested in doing voiceovers?
I have never officially done a voiceover. I've auditioned for voiceover work before, but I've never booked voiceover. I've done voiceover on my own projects. I'm currently producing, I'm sure, as you know, I'm currently producing a show called Working Out the Kinks, and I do voiceover on my own project. But other than that, I haven't really done much voiceover, but I'm definitely open to that as well.
Well, I do a lot of fan-made parodies of Dumbo and Jumbo Book, so basically I would give you a couple of lines, and you would just repeat them. Would you be interested in something like that?
Oh, sure.
Yeah. I didn't mean to impose on you with the whole pyramid stuff. I love that stuff. I'm a loser.
No, you're fine. You're not a loser. Don't say that.
No, the next question I was going to ask you was, actually, where are you? You're based in the city, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Where in the city are you based?
Harlem.
All right, parents were school teachers? Were they in the Bronx or?
No, I'm originally from Ohio. I'm actually in Ohio right now, like I said, visiting my dad. And so, no, they taught in Ohio.
Oh, how many years were they doing it?
Ooh, I think my mom did it for 30 years, and my dad, oh God, much longer than that. I'm not sure actually how long.
Did he ever think about becoming a school teacher? Or did they ever want a daughter as a school teacher?
They didn't necessarily want a daughter as a school teacher. They wanted me to pursue my dreams. They were very much supportive of whatever my dreams were and me pursuing that. Ironically, though, I actually am a school teacher. I currently teach dance and theater in a school.
Oh, that's really cool.
In addition to producing, I also teach dance and theater.
Oh, if you're interested, maybe I can come to your school and I can introduce myself and tell people my story.
Oh, possibly. I'm at a new school this year, so I'm not sure what everything what all that would entail. But that could be a possibility. We can keep in touch. Definitely talk about it.
Yeah, never say never.
Yeah.
Now, when you were an actress, what? Trying to find from the right words. What were some of your favorite roles? Were you extras in TV shows and movies? And what do you perceive happening for yourself in acting?
Right. So let's start with favorite roles. Favorite roles would be when I played Dion in Hair. And I don't know if you're familiar with Broadway shows or not, but the role of Dion in Hair was really a fun role for me because it was the most vocally demanding singing-wise, and so it challenged me in that way, and I just loved the songs that I got to sing in that show. What I also loved playing Lala in the Colored Museum. The Colored Museum is a very historical piece in the African American culture by George C. Wolfe, and it's some satire and parody and things, and it's Lala is just an over the top, another singer, very over the top, like showgirl though, and I just loved just being this over the top flamboyant actress / singer and just commanding the stage by myself, because it was about a 15-minute segment within the show that I'm just on the stage by myself, and I loved that because it was like all attention, all eyes on me. Like, it was great just to be able to just really just show myself and just be open and vulnerable and just act a fool, really. Another favorite role, I think those were like my two favorite roles, I would probably say. Moving on, you asked me about TV shows and movies. I have been an extra on Law and Order and some other crime dramas in New York. We don't call them extras, though. In the industry, we call them background actors. I was a background actor. Also, I was a dancer in the movie Top 5, Chris Rock's movie Top 5. And what else have I done? That there was an award-winning film called Homework. It wasn't very popular mainstream, but it was very popular in like the independent world. Homework got a lot of awards, and I was a dancer in that one as well. Another film that's getting some attention and working the festival circuit and getting awards is called Enchantment. I had a role in that as well. And yeah, so it's been, and then I've also danced a lot on different award shows on like BET or NBC. So dancing has taken me far, but dancing is also what transitioned me into musical theater world, which transitioned me into the acting world. And so now, and then that acting is kind of what transitioned me into producing, because I started producing because I wanted to create my own opportunities, and I wanted to produce and write and work on the shows that I wanted to work on and create what I wanted to act in. And so I started doing that and telling the stories that I feel like needed to be told that nobody else was telling. And so that's why I started producing. And it's been great because I've not only been able to create what I want to say and act and create my own roles so that the role is catered specifically to me so that it's perfect for me, but also I'm able to direct and guide what happens with the show as a whole, because as the producer, I'm the one marketing it, I'm the one pitching it, I'm the one, introducing it to people and deciding, where I want it to go and who the target audience is and everything. And so just having total creative control in that regard, being able to showcase my talent as an actor the way I want to, where I want to, is amazing. So, yeah.
No, absolutely. Now, I'm going to pass this show over to you. Was there anything you wanted to talk about, anything you wanted to promote? This is your time, after all.
Oh, perfect. Well, yeah, as I was saying, I'm producing right now. Currently, I am producing my show called Working Out the Kinks. It is the first scripted sitcom series that focuses on the natural hair movement. And I'm just absolutely thrilled to be presenting this because there's so much buzz and there's so much interest in the natural hair movement right now. And it's also ultimately just about a show about identity and people, being perceived because of their appearance in a way, being put in a box because of their appearance rather than being then all the opportunities being open to them like others, and so it's a story that I feel like everybody can identify with in some regard as far as overcoming how you are perceived versus what is actually the case and what you're actually capable of. You know what I mean? So it's a great story there, and we are to be. We've gained some amazing cast members, some YouTube stars, some actual celebrities. Stephen Russell Hartz of the R&B group Troop, Glamo, who's a super runway coach and runway fashion expert who's been on Tamar and Vince and 106 and Park and MTV Made. He's a great recognizable face, as well as some awesome sponsors, Armis Management, who else? Bernays Hair Salon and Academy, Wu-Tang Management, yay for the Wu, and we are to be premiering at Hair and Fashion Week this fall, and we're also looking to have a New York premiere. Oh, so the Hair and Fashion Week will be in St. Thomas this fall in October. And we're also looking to have a New York premiere and to premiere in other cities around as well. And it's all just very exciting. So look us up at Walk Series, spelled WOKSERIES, at Walk Series on Instagram and Twitter. And on Facebook, it's Working Out the Kinks Series. And you can find me at Nicole Ralph, JNYCOLE RALPH on Instagram, Twitter, and Nicole Ralph on Facebook as well. And our website is walkseries.com.
No, absolutely. Now, the next question I was going to ask you was, would you be interested in traveling, say, if we hung out one day? Would you be interested in traveling or...
In traveling?
Yeah.
I'm traveling. Like traveling how? What do you mean? I love traveling.
Well, did you ever been to Woodbury Commons?
Have I been to Woodbury Commons? I don't think I have. If I did, it was like a long time ago, but I don't think I've ever been to Woodbury Commons.
Hey, maybe we can spend a day together over there one time, or over the summer when you're available.
Okay.
And you come up and I can buy you lunch or something for thanking you for taking the time to be a guest on my talk show.
Yeah, sure.
I'm a bad fart. But I'm a good person. I do stupid things, but I'm a good person.
Well, I love what you're doing with your talk show. I think it's awesome.
No, absolutely. Was there anything you wanted to ask me?
What has been the highlight of doing this talk show? Has there been any specific moment or moments that have been like the highlight of?
I always wanted to have a couple famous friends, so I got that.
Nice. Something like who?
I'll tell you a little story about it. When I turned 21, people said to me, if you live only once, you should do something special. Well, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I have my health, I have my family, I have my family. If I have to die, I would like to have a couple famous friends. And that was about 6 years ago. I'm now 28. Mm-hmm. And at the time, I was reaching out to a couple of wrestlers and actors and actresses, but I was being told off. I was being told to go, and it's uncensored, it's freedom of speech and whatever. I was being told to F off, go F yourself, you're a lowlife, you're a parasite, we don't deal with people like you. And one of the reasons I did my talk show was, well, I would like to have a couple of famous friends, and at the same time, I would like to do something that I can die happy. And I was using my learning disability as a crutch. Can't go to college. I can't do this. I can't drive. Can't do what most of you're doing. So I was like, screw it. I'm going to show you what's a disability. I can still amount to something. Even if it backfires, I can still say I can amount to something. And I created my talk show. After 3 years, I finally did it right. When I first, don't ask me why, when I first started, I did old phone interviews. Stupid idea on my part, but I suffer from depression, social anxiety, ADD, ADHD, and a lot of other things I won't get into. And so when I was doing my phone interviews, like, okay, I have bad social skills. As you notice, I'm kind of awkward, but who isn't? But I'm a sweetheart, so I guess it balances out. I'm not trying to kiss your ass or anything, I'm just saying. But, being socially awkward and having panic attacks. Basically, I worked in retail, I got sick. Basically, long story short, they didn't want me there, told a girl flirt with me. I had anxiety growing up. Took me a year to recover because I was constantly throwing up, had a panic attack. I didn't want to leave the house, didn't want to do anything. I went to West Point, and I was trained as I can't even talk. I went to West Point. I was traded. I sound like a baseball player. Trained as a custodian. I can work now anywhere in New York State as a New York State custodian. I have a little certificate saying that. My learning disabilities does show time to time. I usually am good about hiding it. But I went to West Point, I was trained, I tried working at Home Goods, and I said, you know what, I don't want to do this. And I took 2 years off after Hurricane Sandy. I was like, you know what, I'm getting disability money, but I don't like sitting around. I want to do what everyone else is doing. Why should there be limits? So 2013, I keep getting the number 3. 2013, I came up with the idea of doing my talk show. So I was doing the phone interviews, long story short. And I still having attacks, and it wasn't helping. So, and the other thing was, people said to me, you have this great format. Why aren't you as bigger than you portray yourself to be? Why don't you have sponsors? Why don't you have people helping you? Well, would you like to help me? I said, no, if you can't do it yourself, and it's not meant to be. Didn't say it to them to their face, but when I hung up, it's like, yeah, thanks a lot, asshole.
Right.
So, I was annoyed. But one person said to me was, do it over and try something else, see like a different format. So thanks to you, worked out the kinks, like in your show, worked out the kinks, and we are finally up to 241. I originally got up to 300, but a lot of people said, yeah, I mean, this is why. And this is mostly excuses, too, on their part. What you see from the camera on my phone?
Yeah.
Basically, this was the camera, my hand's the camera, and what my hand saw was what you've seen from the screen. So that was all season 1. I recorded it from the phone. Because I didn't have a job, so I wanted to do something, so I used the camera to the phone. Season 2, and that's 2014, my hand's the camera, so what you saw from the camera, from the computer screen. And people said to me, well, I can get to that. And people said, actually, screw it, I just jumped into it. People said to me, why don't you use Skype Recorder? And I was like, oh, Skype you have to pay for. But then I realized you can add people that you don't have to pay for. It's also free. And my brother told me, oh, there's Skype Recorder. There's Google Hangout. I still have no idea how to use Google Hangout. I get the idea, but I still have no idea how to record off of it.
Gotcha.
So why didn't you use Google? Why didn't you use Skype Recorder or Google Hangout in the beginning? It's like, well, you wouldn't have seen a growth. Yeah, it's been 3 years. Yes, I interviewed a lot of people, but you wouldn't have seen me transition. So yes, we went from the phone to the computer screen to now it's Skype Recorder where it's got to be cut in half. I'm going to be on the right, you're on the left, and maybe one day you would like to interview me. You're got to be on the right, and I'm going to be on the left. And it's basically, you see a transition on 3 years, how I changed. Mm-hmm. If I just did this from the start, yeah, you would see from someone who never talked to now to someone who doesn't shut the hell up. Because now I now talk, I walk over to people, and I can give you a funny story. I went to the Ulster County Fair in New Paltz, mm-hmm. and also the Sugarloaf Fair in New Paltz. 2 different things, but still arts and crafts. Mm-hmm. And I walked over to someone who makes glass. It's just this glass thing with symbols in it. And I was like, I love your work. Can I have your business card? And I introduced, bless you. And I extended my hand to my investment friendship and introduced myself. My parents says, like, we can't take you anywhere. It's like, why? There's a place, there's a time and a place for everything. And this is not your playground to start screwing around and making a scene. So it's like, okay, ask for them for the business cards. And so I went to Comic-Con, and same thing, you're so soliciting. Now, when I went back to Comic-Con, I asked people for their permissions. It's like, well, I'm a talk show host. How do I go about introducing myself? It's like, well, as long as you don't make a scene and you gotta cause something, you can, and I have the email printed, you have your guy, I don't know, blah blah, from sales from New York Comic Con. So like, you can introduce yourself. That's why we're here for. But as long as you're not soliciting, like handing things out, you can still introduce yourself. Like if you were at Comic Con and I walked up to you and say, it's Keith Andrew, very nice to meet you. By the way, I'm a talk show host. I would love to have you on the show. That's fine. What they don't want at Comic Con is handing things out. Like saying, hey, I'm a talk show host. Here's a shirt. Here's a flyer. Here's this. Here's that. As long as I work with the rules, I can still introduce myself to people. Mm-hmm. And I have that email, so it's like, hey, you said on blah, blah, blah date. And speaking of Comic-Con, I wanted to do a Q&A at the New York Comic-Con, mm-hmm. but I'm not on their level. However, for people who want to go see me at the Poughkeepsie Comic-Con, and hopefully maybe you would like to go there and do a little PR for yourself, you can go to the Hudson Valley Comic-Con in Poughkeepsie, I'm gonna have my own Q&A. That's still in the works, knock on wood. And hopefully, if I hit it off well there, then next year at Comic-Con in the city, I can do my own thing. But, right now, I'm just a little speck on the radar. So it's like, well, if I do Comic-Con in Poughkeepsie for a year or so, then, okay, then I have an excuse to say to the New York City Comic-Con, I worked with Poughkeepsie Comic-Con, I worked here for a year or so, and here's a recommendation. Basically, I thought, okay, do one, then do the other. But you have to do one, then the other.
Mm-hmm.
However, without going on a little rant, I interview everyone. Actors, actresses, models, CEOs, professional wrestlers, people with disabilities, people without disabilities. And I got people who say to me, why I dropped from 300 back. People say to me, you ask a lot of stupid questions. Okay, maybe I do. But you ask a lot of stupid questions. Or we don't like the video call me. My agent, my manager says we don't want to deal with people like you or have anything to do with people like you. And I'm like, then why did you waste my time doing the interview? Yeah, well, I thought it would help my career. I thought you weren't being serious. I thought it was just a joke. But, they're just being assholes. It's like, you're just wasting my time. Now I have the permission slip saying you signed it, can't get out of it. But, with that being said, it's more about saying I'm now upfront with people. People now know what I do. But with that being said, wrapping up our talk show interview, was there anything you want to say on closing? But the one thing I do want to say to you before I pass it back to you is when I first approached you, what was your honest opinion of me? And after doing the interview, how do you feel now, going on the record?
When you first approached me, let me look at what this message said so I can remember. I thought at first, I was like, it sounds like a very noble cause that he is doing here.
Right.
And I would love to be a part of that if that's what this is. Part of me was like, is this guy for real? This seems a little sketch. Like, where did he find me at? So it was a little bit of both. It was like, well, if he's for real, this is great, but I'm not sure he's for real. So, and now I see that you're doing exactly what you said, and I think it's awesome. I think you're very bold and doing a courageous thing, and just really, taking your own life into your hands and creating what you want to create. And I think that is so awesome. I wanted to ask you, so now do you have sponsors? Right? You did the commercial for Target, so is Target one of your sponsors now?
Affiliation. It's kind of funny about Target. Besides the fact I used to work for them. Long story about that. While I was working for them, I said, I have a talk show with people with disabilities. And it isn't a sponsor, I wish it was. It's called an affiliate. AFF.
Affiliation.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
I can't spell words, but if you say it, I can repeat it so it eventually sinks in. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying, but I'm slow. Also, I can't spell if my wife depended on it. But they said to me, what you're doing is great, but we want nothing to do with it. But a couple of weeks later, a couple of months later, I got an invite saying Target would like to invite you to be part of their affiliation. And I was like, okay, I guess you had to think about it or you had to look into it. So now I have Target as affiliation. And also I work with Celebrity VM as well. Mm-hmm. So I'm plugging both of them. So, it's slowly moving, it's...
Yeah.
What about you? What do you have?
I was going to ask you, what's the difference between an affiliate and a sponsor?
A sponsor pays you money. In affiliation is, I guess, I just promote them.
Oh, okay. So you really don't get anything from them. They get the benefit of you promoting them.
Yes.
Got you. Okay. Yeah. We have, as I mentioned when I was talking earlier, I have some sponsors that are now helping us out. When I started, I didn't have sponsors either, and now we have some sponsors but we are definitely still in need of sponsors.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. So I'm still looking for sponsors and or a network to pick us up, because that is the ultimate goal.
It's kind of funny to mention that. I was thinking about, I would like to be like the next Bill O'Reilly, Bill Maher, and then I was thinking about it. People are now using YouTube. I am a YouTube star, surprisingly.
Nice.
People are now using Netflix. So you want to see a bunch of great videos, go to youtube.com.
Okay.
Doing a little plug. I was looking at Netflix and Hulu, and that's like, and Crackle, and I was like, I would love to be on one of these. But unfortunately, you have to know someone to get on that. But, your show, my show, we can work together on that, help each other out. Do have a couple ideas for you after your show. But, that would be really cool if you're on YouTube, so that's a stepping stone. But it would be really cool to be on Netflix and to be on Hulu and everything.
Yeah. You got to start meeting the people that you need to meet. Do you go to like networking events or any of the events that Netflix or Hulu or YouTube or any festivals or industry things?
I don't have anyone to take me. But if you like, I would love to go with you.
Yeah, you should start going to events where I would love for our show to premiere in New York is at the New York Television Festival, which is also in October. And so you should definitely this year in October come to the New York Television Festival and just start getting, in that, getting known in that circle. Start talking to people, start meeting directors and executives and other people who are doing talk shows like you're doing, and find out what they're doing and learn how to pitch your show and talk about your show so that people will get interested and want to pick it up.
No, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Now, wrapping up our talk show segment, stay tuned for after the show. Wrapping up our segment, I just want to say it's a real honor and privilege to have you as a guest, and I'm looking forward to building a friendship with you as well.
All right.